Hello, I am Dr. Narotam Dewan from Dewan Hospital, Ludhiana. And today I feel like talking about a very dangerous situation developing in the world, that is coronavirus pandemic. Now, we as doctors feel our duty to share the knowledge and guide the people to save themselves, keep themselves protected. Now this has happened in a big way in China. The Wuhan province, about 35 million people have been restricted to go out of the province, and many more provinces are being uh, put to the same situation that the people cannot travel to and fro from those provinces in China. Very strong measures to protect, and also they are giving good health services there. Anyhow, but the still the virus has spread to many other countries like Vietnam, Thailand, Hong Kong is in China now. Anyhow, Korea, Japan, even America, and some India also. And this is some cases have been found like on the China-Russia border, 1,000 kilometers or away from the main Wuhan province. Because China is a big country like India. So the thing is that this is a old virus, coronavirus, and earlier also there had been pandemics like a Middle East respiratory syndrome virus was there, and then there was severe acute respiratory syndrome. These were two viruses which had happened in the viruses caused pandemic and severe illness in the world, spreading from various places like Middle East. You can understand it had spread from Saudi Arabia, and it has spread to other places. And in these people, also thousands of people died, and many more they were ill and hospitalized, and so there was morbidity and mortality. Now, this time also in the Wuhan province and other places, the official morbidity is reaching about, that is death rate is about 30 people, and about 1,000 are severely ill, and definitely proven to be like that, suffering from this virus. This virus is like an ordinary virus otherwise in animals and in transmitted from animals to humans and human to animals. But and it was considered like in say America, the influenza virus itself kills thousands of people every year. Now, why these viruses kill the people which are like flu, influenza? This is also the same type of virus, crown virus, but these viruses kill when they cause severe diseases. And there is a mutant gene which is more powerful, because the more powerful the virus is due to change in genetic structure, the more it survives and more it transmits itself. Otherwise, the symptomatology is the same, that is running nose, irritation in the nose, fever, headache, body ache, fatigability, sore throat, so normal symptom. And these are upper respiratory system, but don't include larynx into it. If you call laryngitis, this can cause the obstruction in the means taking breath, because the air goes through larynx. But usually it doesn't affect larynx. It does affect the middle ear cavity in the children. It goes down, if it goes down and causes pneumonia. So we do not have any, like we have influenza, pneumococcal influenza vaccination, but there is no vaccination developed against either severe acute respiratory syndrome viruses, because they considered that, okay, now it may not take place. Now this against crown, so far the vaccination is not available. So you have to deal it symptomatically. One has fever, antipyretic or cold sponging, and for running nose and other things, you symptomatic for flu and cold, bad cold, they say. So right, but when who are the more prone people? Small children, old people, elderly people, those who are immunodeficient, whose immunity is less, or if you'll acute AIDS, acute immunodeficiency syndrome. That's a very severe example of immunodeficiency. Immunodeficiency, many type of people like persons who have got transplant, now very common kidney transplant, liver transplant. So they are put on anti-immune bodies to suppress their immune system. People who are on corticosteroids, like those whose skin diseases, respiratory diseases, and many other type of diseases. I'll not go into those details. So those type of diseases also, there is immunosuppression. The virus gets no opposition and just walks in like Hitler's army goes through the Poland and other places like Panzer divisions, tack, 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 tack. So it spreads one place to other way, it travels. Now human beings or animals are the host and this is the parasite. So one sneezes, so lot of these droplets, they come out of our sneeze or cough into the air, and anybody they in the air, that the person who breathes, or you somebody, anybody coughs or sneezes onto some person, so if they inhale that, they can get. Or the person squeezes one's nose or hanky, and then the person touches handshakes with someone, or touches the table in any place, home or restaurant, outside, office, anywhere, handles car handles, you sit in a taxi, one person is suffering, sit in a bus or train or aeroplane, one person is suffering. If not by airborne method, by touch method, and then that virus comes to the hand or into a something which you are handling. And then if you put your finger into the nose or rub your eyes, so that can immediately contaminate you through the mucous membrane, because skin is a bit resistant, but mucous membranes inside the mouth, nose, and eyes, they can easily be transmitted, uh, penetrated by these viruses. So this is it. Now, what is the thing that if one becomes a serious patient, a victim of this disease, usually it causes pneumonia. Now, pneumonia means that the lung becomes consolidated. In the lung is like a tree, inverted tree, and you see the trunk of the tree, and then there are main branches, then there are small, small branches, and then like leaves we have called alveoli. And just like the leaves of the tree, they breathe. They take in some carbon dioxide to make through the water carbohydrates and other things through chlorophyll and or phyto chlorophyll. In our case, the oxygen is taken in from the environment and carbon dioxide pushed out, which is the byproduct of our energy making system. The carbohydrates and fats are burned and in the body with a slow process, and that burning produces carbon dioxide that has to go out. Otherwise, the person gets hypercarbia, means in the blood, the level of carbon dioxide becomes more than what is normal, and there can be severe hypercarbia and hypoxia, that can be a level of oxygen in our blood which is required by our brain and tissues to function, the cells to function, that gets low, because oxygen will be required for combustion in our body. Like we are a living thing, so there is always, we are generating some energy and heat by small combustion in every cell of our body, whether it is brain that consumes 30% of carbohydrates which we use, 30% of the energy is used by the brain. So these things you see, if they are affected, we have hypoxia or hypercarbia, then one has to go on the respiratory system. And if there is a pandemic, so you have to be an agent to stop this pandemic by being aware that people who are traveling to and fro from the places where this has become a very common disease, like the Chinese government has said, and other people are quarantining. But remember, some people may hide their disease because the people will be isolated for some time. They cannot go to work with their families. And so people, and I saw the video that in America, the people who are coming from China, they were checking the temperature. Okay, if the person has temperature, he likely to have, especially through those provinces. But these things, they spread, and you have to be aware. As such, like influenza itself, in those people who are more prone for severe pneumonias, because in pneumonias, we, for example, if we have bacterial pneumonia and the bacteria is not very resistant and the person has some immunity and strength, so we can give antibacterial drugs, but we do not have very good antiviral drugs. So the body usually forms interferon type of thing, which is formed less in immunocompromised patients. But otherwise, this interferon neutralizes the virus, and this takes time to form. Best is to take precautions, because unless this is cleared, there is green signal that the no more spreading is taking place. This can spread like there was a black plague in London and anywhere in India. My grandmother, who was the maternal grandmother, my maternal grandfather was MRCP from Edinburgh University and was practicing at Naba at Ludhiana. Dr. Jeevan Murray, his wife, my grandmother maternal, used to say that in her time the plague spread, and in three villages there were only three girls left, all other died. So, but this is not that type of plague type of thing. But why to suffer? Even if you suffer slight disease or moderate or severe disease, better to take precaution. So today I came live to share my concern and to share my knowledge, because I gained and I gain and I will gain this knowledge through the world wide web, through the books, through the past and present and future developments. And so I share with you as my duty. Nice talking to you. Bye bye for now. Thank you for those who listen and who will listen. Bye bye. Wishing you happy and safe life.